as the human would do run after run, destruction after destruction, wiping out everything over and over again. Sometimes they'll do a pacifist run, sometimes they'll do a neutral run, sometimes they'll do the run where they destroy everyone. Sans was tired of it. As then we cut to Charlie. Charlie was doing magic, and she wasn't really getting the best control of it, but she would cast a spell to try to help someone. Little did she know that this spell would go to another universe. You see, Sans was trying to use magic to get rid of the human, and they both cast their spells at the same time. So as Charlie would go to bed that night, she would wake up in the ruins, as Toriel would find her. Now, she would assume she was a monster, so she wouldn't really, try to protect her, but she was confused by why didn't she run away. After all, most monsters out in the ruins were animalistic and ran from her. But this one didn't. Toriel would say, you lost? Charlie would say, yeah. Huh. How are you doing? What part of hell am I in? As then Toriel would take defense of that and say, this may not be the best place, but it's not hell. As Charlie would say, okay. As then she would follow Toriel. Toriel would say, you're very strange for a monster. How'd you even get in the ruins? Mostly frog monsters and monsters that can burrow under end up here. As then Charlie would say, I'm not a monster, I'm the Princess of Hell. Toriel would say, Princess of Hell? You must be kidding. Listen, there's no time for jokes here. Even though I like a good joke here and there, Toriel would try to be stern but in a motherly way, as Charlie wouldn't get any of that. Charlie just wanted to go back to the hotel. As she would try to move past Toriel, she would then move towards the door. As then, Toriel would say, this is the way out. Since Charlie wasn't a human child that was hunted on sight, Toriel wouldn't be protected of her. So, Charlie was able to walk out. As she walked out, she heard a stick snap. As Sans walked out, he was shocked. It wasn't a human. This be a monster? Her soul felt purely demonic, but kind at the same time. That was impossible, right? Sans would stare at her soul. As then Sans would slowly walk up to her, as Charlie would turn her back. As Sans would go to shake her hand, she was scared a little bit, but she wouldn't be as much as we were when we first played Undertale. As then, the whoopee cushion went off, and Sans said, the good old whoopee cushion hand trick works every time. Charlie would then laugh a bit and say, man, you're silly. I thought you were going to be scary. Sans said, what, just because I'm a skeleton, I'm scary? That's profiling. Charlie would say, no. Sans would say, I'm just messing with you. Besides, where are you from? As Charlie would say, I'm from hell. As Sans would say, hell, huh? Weird. Sans partly didn't believe her, but Sans knew about the resets and all that, so he admitted it was possible. He was going to talk to her about it, but just then Papyrus ran in. And since she's not a human, Sans wouldn't want to hide her. As then, Papyrus would look at Sans. Also, she probably wouldn't fit in that conveniently shaped lamp. As then they both looked at each other. Charlie and Papyrus looked. As then Papyrus would say, Sans? I've never seen a monster like that before. Is it a human? Sans would say, no, it's not. Her soul's different. Oh, then it's nice to meet you. I am the great Papyrus. Just going on my jog. Sadly, a human hasn't came by. I'd love to capture one. Charlie would be a bit stirred by this. Capture, she would say. Oh, yes. I want to be a part of the royal guard, so I try to capture a human. Charlie would say, isn't that mean to take someone against their will? Papyrus would say, well, yeah, but him. It's worth it to be part of the royal guard. Papyrus never really thought about that. He just wanted to be popular. And we all know Papyrus has a really good heart. Charlie would see that, but she would also see he has some issues, as Charlie would say, here, you want to hang out? Papyrus would say, really? I got a friend? Yoo-hoo! You gotta meet Undyne. As then, Papyrus would walk away. I don't know why I said yoo-hoo. He's not Mario. As then, Charlie would follow with Papyrus, and Sans would say, I better catch up, as he would drink some ketchup. Charlie would go, ooh, as then he would teleport away. As then Papyrus would say, so, where are you from? Would then go, I'm from hell. Really? That does not sound nice. Charlie would say, it's nicer than you think. I'm a princess. As then Papyrus would say, wowee, really? Yeah, I got transported to this world. as she began to talk to Papyrus. And Papyrus was no idiot, but he actually did believe her because, well, he could tell she had a good heart. Or she was just crazy. He would keep either one in mind. Either she was crazy or this really happened, because she didn't seem like she was lying. As suddenly Papyrus looked at his watch and said,
"Oh my, Undyne, I'm supposed to train with her," as he would begin to run off towards her. As then Charlie would start to follow, suddenly she would hear a sad whimper. She looked, she saw a flower.
Flowey knew she was in here instead of Chara or Frisk, or both, I guess, technically. And neither, sometimes. It's complicated. As Flowey would look up at Charlie, Flowey had an idea. Flowey would say, "I wish they were free." Charlie would say, "Who?"
You don't know?
Start to think to himself, maybe she is from a different place. But if she was from hell, she would be much scarier. Unless, is she putting on an act? No, why would she say she was from hell in the first place then? Flowey began to analyze her before he continued to talk. King Asgore has captured 7 human souls. He needs one more to break the barrier. He's been capturing humans and taking their souls. Once he breaks the barrier, I doubt peace will last for long. Charlie would say, "Humans? Souls?" As then Charlie would go, "Really?" Flowey would say, "Yeah, and they all been kids." That was the last straw. Charlie was really pissed after that. Charlie would then begin to walk off as Flowey would laugh. Worst case scenario, she just loses and I have a bit of fun. Best case, I get all those souls, Flowey would say as he laughed and hid underground. As then, Charlie began to walk to go to Asgore, but no one would try to stop her for a while until she got near the palace because, well, she's not a human. She got close to the royal castle, though. Suddenly, someone would stop her, Undyne, as she would say, "Alf said someone's heading towards here on the cameras. You're not allowed in here unless you have a special pass or the king has invited you. So why are you here?" Undyne would say, as Charlie would look and say, "I'm here to stop the king from wiping out innocent humans." Undyne was shocked. Most monsters were for the king's plan, even though the king wasn't ruthless. But going against him was treason. And most monsters wanted to get out of here so bad that they wouldn't even question it. As then, Undyne would say, "You're not worthy to be a monster." As then, suddenly, she would start to fight Charlie. Charlie is a nice person, and it's always swept under the rug, but the 7 people they took out were kids, so that means they literally, that's messed up. And I'm sure Charlie wouldn't stand for that. She would get really angry and blast fire right at Undyne. And Undyne would be able to easily tank it, but she's a fist, so it would dry her out. As then she would look and say, "You win this round," she ran away. As Charlie would say, "Well, that was easy." As then she would walk into the castle. As she walked closer and closer, Flowey would watch, eagerly waiting. As then Charlie went to King Asgore. As Charlie would immediately summon the souls down with magic and try to bring them out so they can rest. As Asgore would see this, he would run to fight at Charlie. As they would both battle each other, Flowey would go to soul, absorbing all of them, but then he would grab Asgore and suck him in, absorbing him too. As then Flowey would start to transform into the TV monster we've seen before. "That was so easy! I've never gotten it this fast before. You're much more of a fun puppet than Frisk, and without Frisk, I can have real fun," he would say, as then he would begin to tear things down, destroying the building around him and blasting things at Charlie. Charlie would use her magic to fight back, but she wasn't adept with it. And this type of magic, this type of fighting, it was too much for her. Charlie would begin to fly around as Flowey shot things at her. As she kept on dodging it again and again and again, she got more tired. She didn't know how long she'd keep this up. When suddenly Gaster Blaster after Gaster Blaster after Gaster Blaster after Gaster Blaster, you get the point, blast Flowey, as Flowey would be launched in midair and begin to torse around the sky. Sans did very, very little damage, but he was able to spam his attacks over and over and over again, and every time Flowey tried to hit him, he would dodge. As Sans said, "Let me show you the true power," Flowey would say, "I knew you knew every time I captured you. You know what happens just like me, Sans. You and I are the same, but this time I'll destroy you, and without the resets. I can do this," as he began to laugh. As then Sans would say, "Shut up, Flowey," as then he would begin to blast him, or should I say Asgore. As Sans would defeat Flowey, Charlie would stand up and say, "Thank you, Sans." Sans would then say, "No problem. Well, you should probably go back. You stopped the resets, but I'm scared when you're gone, that kid will come back." Charlie would say, "Kid, it's a long story. At least now we have the souls freed." I wonder if they would even change anything. Sans would then lift up his hand. As it would turn blue, Charlie would instinctively grab it, as then she would wake up in her bed. Was it all a dream? Or was it real? She just didn't know. But as she got up, she would hear a laugh. As she turned to see Papyrus, but he wasn't there. Maybe she was just hearing things. Or maybe he will visit one day. Who knows? I'll leave things off. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and share with all your friends. And not gonna lie, usually I end things off with a positive note, and I try to talk to you all and stuff like that. But today something bad kind of happened. I mean, I didn't know him personally, so I'm not deeply hurt, but I'm still upset by it, obviously. The voice of John Redcorn, I don't know if you heard, but King of the Hill was getting revived. All these voice actors were, going on strong, and he was, put away in a hateful situation. I'll make a short about it, but yeah, I don't really want to talk about it that much in this video, just because, well, that's not really what this is about. This channel isn't about history or things like that. Whenever I get riled up, I make a little short about it, but I don't want to affect these videos like this. I'm just going to say this. If you don't know what happened to John Redcorn's voice actor, you can Google it. But here's basically the rundown. You know what? I wasn't going to do this, but I just have to. What happened was his friend was making remarks towards him. He liked men. He was married to a man. And they were very hateful. And eventually he just walked up and blasted him. And I say blast because of YouTube. YouTube doesn't like when I say, But yeah, that's what happened. So basically he's gone because someone just couldn't accept him. And it just really makes me upset that stuff like that still happens in 2025. I mean, we've gone to the literal moon. We landed on the moon, and you can't even kiss someone who is like you, basically. But we can go to the moon, but we can fly a plane, but we can do all this stuff, but you can't just hold someone's hand. That's like you. That's so dumb. It just makes you think. And I'm a little bit ashamed of it. And it also scares me because it could have been anyone, you know what I mean? It could be anyone. Maybe someone watching this video that could happen to. It scares me that people would do that. And I know it happens all the time to different people, no matter what they are. Crazy people be crazy, but still, it makes me sad. Let me know what you think about this in the comments below. Love you all. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting me. Peace out.